recently I've thought that GW have had a habit of showing their hand too early in the previews way, sort of thing. They always seem to me that if they have like a week's worth of previews for whatever, they release all the good stuff at the start, and then by the end, where you think they would have something really big in their back pocket to like end on a high, it kind of like fitters out into like a sort of meh, sort of, oh well, yeah, that's there as well. Oh great, you know what I mean? Like they never end on a sort of high note. But you know, the last 24 hours, they might prove me wrong. Today might just be an absolute bomb of previews, but we'll have to wait and see. But going through the previews last 24 hours, we've had a bit of both really. We've had some just general news. We've had some interesting story updates regarding the new Silent King and his dynasty and what they've been up to from the Necrons. We've got the named sister and the Harlequin from the Pariah Psychic Awakening. They've got their rules dropped. And we've had the Tal faction focus, which has been very interesting. And I think it's going to... I think it's put a lot of fears regarding Overwatch aside. But we'll get into that. First off, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that the Silent King's dynasty name. It's got too many S's and too many Z's in it, one of each next to each other, and I don't like doing Zazarkhan. No, Silent King's dynasty. Basically, the lads we've been seeing previewed a lot with the sort of like coppery, bronzy sort of over armor sort of thing. They've released a little blurb saying what his dynasty, because he has a dynasty, because he is a pharaoh, what they've been up to. It's interesting because in the story of the lore, basically, when the Necrons went into their living metal bodies, when the Catan obviously transferred their essences from flesh and bone to living metal, the Silent King had apparently command protocols overriding everything they do. And before he buggered off to outside the known galaxy, he shattered those command protocols, or broke them, to truly free what remained of his people. And when a lot of the other Necron bigwigs found out just how much control he had over him, they weren't best pleased. So they went on a bit of a revenge binge, and it just goes into the attacks they've suffered. But he's bounced back, obviously, because he's one of the faces of the new edition. And I gotta say, some of the artwork in this preview is absolutely spot on. They weren't wrong when they were saying they're going through the old Eldritch horror kind of undead in space kind of thing. I mean, that picture there, the one with the new Destroyer Lord guy with the big flame claw, that's a really good picture. But the one I like most is this one here, because this is so weird. Some proper X-Files shit going on right there. Just with, I'm guessing, some sort of a giant machine that's sort of beaming people up. Now, the interesting thing about this is GW, they never really, they have a habit of putting sneak previews of things in leaked media, like hidden in plain view sort of thing. I don't think this is one of them. I don't think this is previewing like a new Necron sort of superstructure or piece of terrain or anything like that. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think it's a bloody good piece of artwork that, yeah, it's quality. Very, very nice. I mean, the Necron Codex is going to be one nice book. Can you imagine the limited edition one? Because the limited edition codexes, if it came with extra artwork like this, I mean, if I was a Necron player, I'd pick it up, most definitely. Right, and then straight after that, we had the previews for the new Sister of Battle, Ephraim Stern and Kegnil of the Bloody Tears. That's obviously the named sister, and the Harlequin, the outcast Harlequin, following around in Pariah. Now, the crack with this lady is she died, and then she came back to life again. there is more to the story than that, but as far as my interests go, she died, then she came back alive, and she's now more badass than ever. Basically, I mean, you've got the stat line right there. Movement 7, weapon ballistic skill 2, strength toughness 4, wounds 6, attacks 4, leadership 9, 3+. So she's rocking it better than a space breed profile to obviously show her sort of So, I don't know if she's a proper living saint, but showing sort of like her buffed back from the dead status. And a weapon she's kicking around with Sanctity. Range melee, time melee, obviously it's a sword. So with that, she'll be rocking at strength 5 because it's +1, -3 AP, you know, straight 2 damage. So she'll be, she's not going to be breaking faces of the big boys, but she'll be chopping through infantry quite handily. I mean, any Primaris Marine will be going down in one hit. Well, assuming that you can get through a save and whatnot. But yeah, that's a pretty good sword. Nice, strong, sort of like middle of the road to light character. Very nice. Demony Fuge. Basically, this rule here is like a smite. It's like a smite that you can't deny. At the start of your shooting phase, roll 2d6, adding 2 to the result of throwing chaos units within 18 of ethereal stern, or a fireball to the nearest enemy that is within 18 inches and visible of ethereal stern suffers d3 mortal wounds. If the result is 9 or more, that unit instead suffers d6 mortal wounds. So it's like a smite, but it's not. You know, it says there, think of it as a mini smite, but without fear of the perils of the warp, and one that your enemy can't even attempt to deny. Truly, this is a blessing from the Emperor. Okay, fair enough. She's got her own little smite thing, but she is part of a duo, and the other half of this duo is the Harlequin, Kagi Pants of the Bloody Tears. There he is there. Nice little base there. I mean, Christ. I always, Harlequins have really intricate patterns painted on them in the GW previews, and it seems like if I wanted to, it'd be a hell of an army for me to tackle, just because my painting level's just not up to that kind of scratch of painting sort of like squares and triangles all over everything. But fair play to the people who do, and it's a lovely model. I like the I don't know, is that what the webway looks like when you're coming out of it? Just sort of like broken up sort of digital tile effect. It's very strange, but like I say, it's a nice model, and the profile's not too bad either. I mean, it's an Eldar profile, so movement 8, weapon skill plus skill 2, strength toughness 3, wounds 5, attacks 4, leadership 9, 6 plus save. Okay, fair enough. Armed with the Outcast Blades. It's a sword, so obviously ranger type on melee. Strength user, so not great, but -1 AP, damage 1. The trick is, it makes 2 hit rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1, so you're looking at 8 hit rolls there. So, good for clearing out the chaff. I mean, not the strongest boy in the world, but that's a standard humanoid Eldari profile. That's fine. It's fine. Both these characters are fine. I mean, they're not going to light the world on fire, are they? But Mysterious Saviour, this is a little bodyguard sort of rule. While this model is within 3 inches of friendly ethereal stern model, roll a d6 each time this model loses a wound. Or that model loses the wound, sorry. On a 5+, the wound is not lost. Not shrugged off onto him, just not lost. So it's better than a bodyguard, really? Because a 5+, you just don't get the wound. It just sort of pushes her out of the way. Fair enough. And I think in the story, these two are aren't exactly speaking terms with a lot of people in the Inquisition, a lot of people in the Imperium anyway. They kind of just mill around doing their own thing. I think they've both got sort of like their own agendas. It's very interesting because obviously you'd think a Sister of Battle and an Eldari Harlequin would be one of those things that, well, especially from the Sisters of Baal, kill on sight sort of thing. You know, the heretic, the Xenos, very righteous, put them down. But apparently in the story, these two kick around with each other like all the time. And they've got a rule to reflect that. Wanderers. Neither Ethereal Stern nor Kignil can be your warlord. In addition, during deployment, you can set up these models in the webway instead of setting them up on the battlefield. If you do, at the end of one of your movement phases, you can set up these models anywhere on the battlefield within 3 inches of each other and more than 9 inches away from any models. They can both deep strike together. It's fair enough. Nice fluffy models. I'm sure a lot of people have been wanting models like these, sort of like the eyes and one thing. They've been wanting models to represent the characters in the book, and now they've got them. So it's a nice thing. You know, rules not amazing, but then again, it's not all about rules, is it? I mean, sometimes you just want to play fluffy little lists, fluffy little rules, and you can do that with these two. And I gotta say, they are both nice looking models, very, very good models. And no one. You can say a lot of things about GW, but you cannot say their models of the new ranges are not on point. Now it's the good stuff. the chunkiness in the soup, the delicious soup that we're eating. The Tau faction focus. Now, this is interesting because modifiers in 40k right now can get out of control. I mean, you can have some serious hit modifiers going for you and against you, depending on what army you play. And speaking of someone who's been on the receiving end of those hit modifiers, it can be fucking annoying. But, in the new edition, that's the thing of the past. As of 9th edition, New40k, hashtag, you're never, ever going to get more than a minus or +1 hit modifier. Never. I don't know if I say never. I mean, unless they bring out a rule that says it counters this rule, then you're never ever going to get better than that. So you could stack as much stuff as you want together. You can put yourself in cover yourself in smoke screen, throw mud on your face, all that camouflage goodness. You're only ever going to get -1 to hit you. And you're only ever going to get +1 when you're hitting someone else. That is it. It shows it right there. If an attack made with this weapon has an ability that says it automatically hits the target, no hit rolls made. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Well, I know what's wrong with me. It's first thing in the morning and I'm thirsty. Ooh, hang on. Tea. That attack simply scores 1 hit on the target. An unmodified hit roll of 6 always scores a hit. An unmodified hit roll of 1 always fails. Fair enough, we know this. A hit roll can never be modified more than -1 or +1. This means that if after all the cumulative modifiers to a hit roll have been calculated, the total modifier will be -2 or worse, change to -1. Similarly, if all the cumulative modifiers of a hit roll have been calculated and the total modifier will be +2 or better, is changed to be +1. There you go, boys and girls. Black and white. You're never, ever, according to this, going to get better, +1 or -1 to hit. So, you know, Aldari shenanigans, no more. You can't stack clouds of smog together and things like that. It's just not going to happen. So, good and bad. It just sort of levels the playing field, doesn't it? I mean, I'm happy with that. I mean, this kicks me in the tits a little bit with some of my things, but, you know, I'm not the only one getting hit with the stick, so it's fine, I suppose. You're still going to have to, obviously, add up all your modifiers and then put them against the negative modifiers and that kind of thing. So it's still going to be a bit of math involved, but you're never going to get more than +1 or -1. That's fair enough. Another little thing, if you read the blurb directly underneath it, it appears we're getting a change to the fly keyword. But the fly keyword right now, many of you will know, you can, if you've got the fly keyword, you can jump out of close combat, turn around, and immediately hose the thing that was trying to give you a Glasgow smile. Not anymore. That's gone. The largest challenge for the Tau Empire in the new edition is to change the fly keyword. It no longer offers units the ability to fall back and shoot, which means you need to put extra effort into screening enemy charges and preventing your critical shooting units from being engaged in combat. That's going to affect more than Tau. Much more than Tau. A lot of jump pack type squads, a lot of vehicles like to fall back and shoot because they've got fly. No more. You can't do that. For as much as it stings me personally, because I've got 1 or 2 things that can do that, like flying out of tyrants, it is always irritating when it happens to me. Again, not too fussed at this change. It does affect me, but I'm not the only one it affects, so I could be looking at this from a purely selfish point of view, but I don't see, sorry, phone's just going off there. I don't see how anyone could lose too much sleep over that. But don't worry, Tower players, because something has been clarified here. You're not being gimped completely. Overwatch. Your Overwatch Tower are still, is still exactly the same. It's not going to change from 8th to 9th. Exactly the same. For the greater good, you've got to change it to read thusly. Each time an enemy unit declares a charge against a unit, this unit can fire Overwatch before the charge roll is made, while a friendly unit with this ability is within 6 of a unit. Each time that enemy unit declares a charge against this unit, that friendly unit can fire Overwatch before the charge roll is made. If it does so, until the end of the phase, the friendly unit cannot fire Overwatch again. Designer's note: this will allow Tower units to fire Overwatch in the same way they did in the previous edition, and as such, units with this ability do not require the Overwatch strategy for War 4000 core rulebook in order to do so. So there you go. It's not all doom and gloom. You still get to keep your Overwatch unchanged from 8th to 9th. Again, I'm not too fussed with that. It seems narratively fitting for Tower to do that. I mean, they've got all the tech linking each other, I'd imagine, so that seems perfectly fine to me. Perfectly fine. Nothing to complain about at all. And that's it for the last 24 hours worth of news cycle, really. I mean, we've had previews for the characters in Pariah, we've had the Tau Empire stuff, the Necron, Silent King Dynasty, but the other thing that happened that I have feelings over, and a lot of people will say you're probably over-exaggerating, you're probably worried about nothing, but Marvel and Warhammer comic revealed. I've got no problem with comics. I'm not a big comic reader. I think the only comic I've ever read in my life is like one someone bought for me one Chris bought for me when he came back from America. I think one Jamie got lent me ages and ages ago, like a Spawn comic. So not a big comic reader at all. We knew that Games Workshop was getting into bed with Marvel, and if you're getting into bed with Marvel, you're getting into bed with Disney. Now, again, I'm not furnished with all the ins and outs of their business arrangements. All I know is I don't trust Disney / Marvel as far as I could throw them. They have proven, particularly Disney, in my opinion, that they will not hesitate. Exactly. They would not hesitate to shit on an established IP in order to make more money. So the idea of an IP I love cozying up with the epitome of a Faces Corporation. I mean, like, in real life, if there was any corporation that was going to emulate Umbrella from the Resident Evil series and create a virus for, weaponized bioweapons, it would probably be Disney. It would probably be Disney. So I don't relish the thought of an IP I love and a company I like a lot getting into bed with them. I don't like it at all. I think I could be overreacting, but it just fills me with a sort of like a dread, like, oh no, like what are they gonna do, sort of thing. But that could be just me. Anyway, that's enough. We'll enter the positive note. Some good previews today. Good 24 hours worth of previews. I say baller artwork from the Necron Silent King Dynasty preview. The Psychic Awakening Pariah, nice new models from that, and the Tau Empire have shown some, I think, overall positive changes for the game. Very nice. But we'll have to see. It's Friday, so we are due some more previews today. Let's see if GW could top that, prove me wrong, and end on a high note. But until we find out then, I will catch you all next time. See you later.